From Greensboro to Winston-Salem to Lexington.
And we have crews ready to go.
And right here in the WFMY News 2 Storm Center.
The latest look at snow totals, the roads, and power outages. Everything you need to know to get through the storm of a decade. WFMY News 2 at 11 is new and now. So once the snow started today, it really did not stop. Cars didn't really have a chance. This pickup got some help from a really big vehicle, a Hummer. We've gotten sleet and ice in some places, but we do not expect all this to be over anytime soon. And Frank is live in in Greensboro, and you know that this continues to keep falling.
Yeah, it's picking up right now. This sleet is pelting me in the face. Grant, give us an update on what we're seeing. I don't know if you're seeing that on radar.
Yeah, guys, nasty stuff out here in the weather garden where we are seeing very heavy sleet really coming down. It is all sleet at this point, no freezing rain, but it's coming down, and that's going to cause a lot of problems on the roads, probably worsening travel conditions as we deal with this burst of heavy sleet here in the Triad. Temperatures are in the low 20s across the area right now, but with that heavy precipitation coming in, you can expect that anything that lands is going to stick, and then it's likely going to freeze. If there's any sort of melting occurring on the ground, it refreezes pretty quickly. If you're out there, you're going to freeze too. Wind chill values there in the single digits. It feels like 8 degrees in Winston-Salem. It feels like 9 degrees in Greensboro. Have a look at the radar here. We are watching this this burst of heavier precipitation moving up from south to north. We will see a little lull develop from the south to the north, Montgomery, Moore County, but very heavy precipitation up to the western part of the Piedmont into the foothills. Anticipating tricky travel as we go into the overnight, but we're not done with the snow yet. A lot more snow on the way. In fact, I could see an additional inch or two with this trailing appendage on the backside of the system. We'll give you more of a timeline coming up just a little bit.
Thank you, Grant. And Frank, you've been a real trooper. You've been outside the snow, in the snow, pretty much all evening long. Schools have canceled classes for tomorrow. And as Grant said, we are not over yet.
It's going to be snowtastic for the kids tomorrow. They're going to be excited. They're going to have plenty to play around with. All the creativity that they're going to put into this. But it's not nearly as pretty right now. I got my Got Snow yardstick here, and there's a thin layer of ice over it. I'm not sure if you can see it, but I can't really get it off even with these gloves on because it's stuck to this sign. This latest spell we've seen of sleet is not the stuff that's going to make for fun tomorrow. We're hoping that this doesn't cause any issues. Obviously, we're not seeing it stick on trees or anything. But power crews are here from Kentucky preparing for what could be an issue. Duke Energy is not taking any chances. They even told me yesterday when I talked to their spokeswoman, they don't call themselves meteorologists. They're not trying to say that they know what's going to happen, but in preparation for whatever might happen, the case that we might see widespread power outages, they're bringing in hundreds of additional crews from out of state to prepare for this. So we'll be watching this overnight, of course, with the help of our meteorologists. Let's go to Winston-Salem with Liz Crawford. Liz, we're seeing the pelting of sleet here. I don't know what it's like there. Give us an idea.
Make it stop, Frank Mickens. How about that? Does that give you an idea? Yes, it's hurting my face. I mean, when the wind blows and you've got these the freezing rain and the sleet coming down on you, yeah, it's just lousy out here. And it's been remarkable to see this storm transform. When we started today in Greensboro this morning, 12 hours ago, it was quiet, it was calm. Then the snow was fluffy, it was pretty. And now it's just nasty. Look, a snow brush, that's only going to get you so far tomorrow morning and really tonight. You've really got to use the scraper to get that layer of ice off the cars. So again, if that's what it's doing on the windows, that icy glaze, you can imagine what the roads are like. And I think we saw the worst of that earlier today. Listen to what one lady said.
I had a friend that slid off the road and had to wait for a tow truck to come get her off. So, I mean, I'd say they're pretty sketchy out there.
Yeah, and look, I want to show you as I walk through this snow just how deep it is. I don't know if you can see that. It's just kind of hard to walk back and forth here. You can't even tell where the parking lot meets the sidewalk, meets the road. And yeah, I don't know if you can hear all that wind. It really is just treacherous out here. But we want to do the dirty work for you. We want to be out here so you don't have to. And we will keep you posted on all media platforms. Back to you.
And keeping people safe with this information as well. Liz Crawford, thank you so much, live in Winston-Salem. It has not been an easy night for drivers. Take a look at those 2 tractor trailers stuck on the highway this evening. That would be a nightmare on the road in actually good weather. Slick conditions cause delays and backups on major city roads. This is Wendover Avenue in Greensboro. Take a look how slow going that is. WFMY News 2's Chad Silber is live now in Lexington. And Chad, most people told you they were not expecting this, even though the meteorologists have been saying it was coming.
Well, you know how people are sometimes when they just need to see it for themselves, and I think today they really got their wish. In Davidson County, we seem to be getting a preview of what all the rest of the triad was getting today. The snow started down in this area, and then the sleet started about 6 hours ago. We only got about 3 inches of snow here in Lexington, but the ice has really compacted it down, and it is starting to really get slick and hard right on the top level of that. Now, surprisingly, there are a lot of people who are taking these hazardous roads seriously. We met 2 guys who work at a plant here in Lexington, but they commute here every day from Winston-Salem and Salisbury. Once they got on the road to head home, they realized they'd rather be safe than sorry.
It's about a 40-minute drive to Winston, and just decided it would be a much safer bet to just get a hotel room for the night.
We've got to go back and work one more day tomorrow, so it'll be a lot easier to come in, won't have as far to drive.
And we are experiencing what a lot of you in the Triad are experiencing right now, that wind when it whips across, and that sleet, and it hits your face, and it feels like pins and needles when it hits you. So if I were you, do not go outside until the temperature warms up just a little bit. Julie, back to you.
Chad, thank you so much. And we continue our coverage with Tanya Rivera, who has been following the story from the very start. Tanya.
Yeah, you know, we've been calling this snow historic and maybe even the snow of the decade, but since it doesn't come around all that often, there are a lot of questions that don't get asked very often. And 2 Wants to Know did some digging and got a whole lot of answers today. WFMY News 2's Ben Briscoe found a car maintenance tip that really could save you thousands. All right, Ben, let us in on it.
Tanya, one of the biggest questions, what do we need to worry about now that the snow is here? Well, in the next few days, all of us are going to be pushing the snow off of our windows, but there's one other place you need to clean too. It's down here underneath your car.
That's the part people miss. That salt gets up on the frame and underneath the body of that car, and it starts to deteriorate, and rain's not going to get it all.
Roy sent along these pictures to show you just how badly the brine can erode your car underneath. He says that it's hard to believe, but look at those. There's your proof. He recommends going to a car wash that has those jet sprays that come up from the bottom. And he says do it as soon as the road's clear. Please, don't wait for the rain to clear off your car like I did last time, because that still won't get the underside.
There are not any significant power outages around our area, but there are a lot of cancellations. On WFMYnews2.com, Winston-Salem, Forsyth, and Guilford County Schools and pretty much every other school district canceled classes for tomorrow. Right now, there is also a curfew for vehicles in Dobson.
And a lot of people have been tweeting us, messaging us about the snow, talking about it in past tense. That's not the case yet. There's a lot more of this to come. Look at Futurecast. This is tomorrow morning, 7 to 9 o'clock. Look at this band of snow. This is inch-an-hour snow possible in the Charlotte area around 11 o'clock, pushing its way, kind of pivoting up through North Carolina. And we'll be seeing that in the Triad sometime midday. So this is not completely over with until tomorrow afternoon. Here's your Fastcast wintry mix for the morning. Bursts of snow. That's when you could pick up an extra inch. By the middle of the day, we are done. Say goodbye to the storm by the afternoon hours and into dinner time.
All right, thanks so much for that update. All right, so today travel was not very nice to us. It was slow going. Right now, people I think have gotten the point. Of course, it's after 11 o'clock, so you won't see as much traffic right now anyway, but it's not as busy as we would normally see right now because people know that the roads are slow going. Priority 1 streets are still bad, so imagine the others. Let's talk about those side streets with WFMY News 2's Faith Abube. And Faith, oh my goodness, we don't need to be trying to drive out there.
Not at all. All you need to do is open your front door and you see exactly what's happening in front of you. You don't have to go far to see it. On Friday, on Thursday, on Saturday, for the next couple of days, a lot of you are going to wake up and conditions on the roads in front of your homes aren't going to be much better than what we're seeing right now. And you're going to be wondering, why are my streets not clear? That's because DOT crews, as well as Greensboro City crews, they have a priority list of all the streets that they're going to clear. Wendover Avenue, Battleground, those are the main roads that they're going to clear first. Your neighborhood street is probably not going to make that list. So you might have to wait for the sun to come out for everything to start melting. So you really do need to be careful as you're getting out of your home the next few days. So things aren't going to be looking much better. Crews are doing everything they can. They're heading out to all the secondary roads, the primary roads, and all of that. But again, you need to be realistic. You need to figure out that crews might not be able to come to your specific neighborhood. Back to you.
You certainly have to have patience and understanding. It has been a day of crashes, delays, and of course, snow all around the state. Take a look at this traffic jam in the Raleigh area today. Police were telling people not to abandon their cars on the highway, even taking it slowly. Some cars just could not avoid a crash. All these crashes happened right in front of the same Raleigh area home. The snow is to blame for this roof collapse at a Charlotte church. Emergency crews and the National Guard responded, but they said nobody was hurt, fortunately. The weather did stop flights in and out of Charlotte, as well as in Greensboro at the Piedmont Triad International Airport. Do not expect anything to be going out tonight. Most people are not going anywhere tomorrow, so don't forget to send your snow pictures to us. Tweet us at using the hashtag #GotSnow at WFMY. Send us your pictures of your kids having fun inside or outside. You can also post your pictures on the WFMY News 2 Facebook page. We'll be making a slideshow and use some of the pictures on air. You can also email your photos to myphotos@WFMY.com.
All right, there we go. Take that off. Okay, the persistent precipitation just now beginning to come to an end in parts of the upstate of South Carolina. After that, we have more snow on the way. We could see an additional 1 to 2 inches tomorrow. Some places across the area, Winston-Salem, already seeing 5 inches.
And we've had ongoing special snow coverage all night long. Do not miss your regularly scheduled Ellen and Mike and Molly. Set your devices to record from 1:30 until 4 a.m. to catch both those programs. Also, the Duke-UNC game we plan to air tonight. That game was postponed until Thursday, February 20th. We're also holding our special report on PJ Hairston's perspective until after our special weather coverage ends. Stay with us.
We are live in Greensboro during Snowstorm 2014, or at least the latest version thereof. Plenty of snow to deal with in the morning, I tell you what. Let's go to WFMY News 2 Morgan Hightower in Lexington, where I guess you found some people that might make a few extra dollars with this weather here.
Yeah, Frank, I was telling you earlier, one of the guys I met came up with a new business slogan called Snow Me the Money. Well, he's a pretty funny guy. Take a look at what he had to say.
An hour and a half, it was light, and then it started real heavy.
Once the snow started falling in Lexington, it just didn't stop.
I've lived here all my life. I've lived here 40 years, and this is much for me.
At least 3 inches of snow piled onto the roadways in Davidson County, creating slick spots and a mess for people like Warren Hill to clean up.
Slow down. Stay at home, please. If you don't have to be out in this, do not come out.
Hill and his crew are patrolling Interstate 85. They will plow the roads first, then lay salt.
Yeah, we got a plow, and then we pull a tractor too, so 2 of us can get on a spot and get it out and get moved.
Steven Snyder is a landscaper, but as long as the snow is falling, he is picking up another job.
This is a needful bonus, sent from God to help us pay our bills.
You know, there's been a lot of good news out of Lexington tonight. There are no reported power outages at this point. There have been no serious car accidents. Only 5 have been reported. But this sleet that continues to fall is really layering the roads, and it's just creating a mess that will still be there tomorrow, Julia, when people wake up.
Thank you, Morgan. We certainly cannot let our guards down because we're going to head out to WFMY News 2's Mark Geary live in Winston-Salem. And Mark, you have an example of why you should not be out on the roads right now.
I did, Julia. They just managed to resolve it right now. You see that car that is traveling really slowly here on Business 40? It was just trying to go up the ramp over there, and it actually slid all the way down, and they kept trying to go back up, and they just could not go on, so they decided to just kind of back up as much as they could and drive on through. So you can't even pull up the ramps. That is just how much snow and ice there is here in Winston-Salem. It is really incredible. I did talk to the streets department. They said that their new crews came on at 10 o'clock tonight. They'll work through 10 a.m. tomorrow morning to try and clear as much snow as possible. But as we've been seeing here, it is still very dangerous here. Even though they have plowed the roads, as you can see right here, it is still a lot of snow and ice and really just not safe to be traveling around here. They will be doing their best to get at least one lane clear in each direction on the major roads in Winston-Salem, but you really just can't count on that. Your best bet is to stay home tomorrow if you can.
Crews are busy keeping those roads safe, or at least busy trying to keep them clear. Mark Geary live in Winston-Salem. Thank you so much. Let's head out now to our chief meteorologist, Grant Gilmore. Grant, we are not done yet.
No, but we're having fun. At least some of us are. If you've stayed home, you've been able to play out in your backyards. Even though the sleet has really changed and it's not as fun as it was earlier on, at least we had a nice fluffy snow earlier on this afternoon. And that's where we saw a majority of these snow totals. Have a look at them. Some of the most recent reports coming in. Sandy Ridge at 7 inches, Stoneville 7 inches reportedly, Eden also at around 7 inches. From there we dropped down the high point at 5.5 inches, Greensboro reporting 5, Winston-Salem, Lexington, another report of Winston-Salem at around 5 inches. So getting a couple reports out of the western triad out of Winston-Salem. The general average seems to be around 5 inches from Greensboro, high point maybe a little bit more, to Winston-Salem also at around 5 inches. Currently we're at 21 degrees out of the Piedmont Triad International Airport, but you know that's not the whole story. Winds are out of the north-northeast at 18 miles per hour, making it feel like 6 degrees. Wind gusts are even higher than that, so it could even feel colder than that at times with those wind gusts. Wind gusts up around 28 miles per hour in Winston, 25 degrees in 25 mile per hour wind gusts in Greensboro, and then a 17 mile per hour wind gust in Reedsville. Let's talk about how it feels for you when you step outside, maybe trying to enjoy a little bit of this snow or sleet or whatever you have in your backyard, because we have everything. It feels like 6 degrees in Greensboro and 8 degrees in Winston-Salem. Fastcast taking you into tomorrow. It all begins to wind down. Wintry mix takes you through the early morning hours. We could see some bursts of snow as we go through midday, and then finally as we get into the evening hours, it all begins to wind down and we all wave goodbye to the storm system. Not right now, though. We are finding moderate to heavy precipitation, anything from snow to sleet, even some freezing rain beginning to fall in parts of the triangle right now, and that's where they will see some of that ice accumulation, but a whole lot of snow reports earlier on today. But we are starting to see more of those sleet and, of course, freezing rain reports, especially coming in over the last 4 to 5 hours. I want to take a big look at this storm system because we're seeing this area of low pressure beginning to move into the Atlantic, and we will see the backside of this storm system pivot across the deep south and then eventually track up to the north and east as we see the main area of low pressure. But look at this here. This is the snow that we could see around midday tomorrow, currently falling over parts of northern Alabama, beginning to move into Georgia. We'll track that through the overnight, likely arriving here as we head into midday. So there goes the storm system. There's the back edge. There's that appendage that we're talking about, giving us that quick burst, potentially an inch to maybe 2 inches of snow in some localized areas. After that is clearing. But once you know, we've got another system arriving that would be late Friday night into Saturday morning. I don't think it brings us any accumulation, but it could give us a quick burst of some more snow flurries. By that point, we're pros at dealing with snow, right? Before this whole system's all said and done, I think we still see anywhere between 6 to 10 inches of snow across the tri, maybe a little more off towards the west, and then farther to the east where we are seeing some of that sleet and freezing rain. Your totals are going to be significantly less. Here's the forecast for you tonight. 24 degrees, sleet and freezing rain continues. Cold and breezy, wind gusts up there around 25 miles per hour. 37 degrees tomorrow with the storm system moving out. Here is your 7-day forecast, warming it up day by day. How about 54 degrees by next Wednesday?
Well, check this out. A couple of our favorite photos of the day. Look at this dude.
I love it.
A frozen beard.
Oh,
you know
no.
it is cold out there. Also,
no.
Tanya's personal favorite. Check this one out. The guys who brought out their boat in the snow. certainly getting very creative out there. They didn't catch anything. No fish. Nothing like that. No fish. Let's check back in with Frank. And Frank, no boats out there, but certainly a lot of white.
Yes. We are not Minnesota. We are not Canada. This is not Calgary. This is Greensboro. It changes everything when we see precipitation like this. 13 to 15 hours of winter precipitation. No school, bad travel, people working overtime to keep the roads clear. You stay home and drink hot chocolate and watch the news and laugh at us. One last got snow measurement in the iciness, 2.5 to 3 inches. Let's see what it looks like tomorrow morning, everybody.
Oh,
so what do we do now?
We have to wait it out, right? Because we are not done yet.
Yep.
You guys are smiling. You're having fun.
Yep. It's kind of fun out here. We haven't, had to deal with it yet.
It's nasty.
It's awful. It really
the
is.
sleet is nasty. I'll tell you one thing. If you care to join me, guys, I've been challenged for a snow angel.
Get down.
Anybody? Anybody?
Do it.
Go. Let's do it. Here we go. So, are you guys going to do it with me? Come on. Come on. Here we go.
Can do it.
Snow angel. Yes. Yes. Been waiting all day to talk. That wasn't nice.
That wasn't cool.
That was.
Good night, everyone.
Whatever.
Stay safe.
Much more news tomorrow.
On the Good Morning Show.